I've been making a series of videos about the 383 stroker build for my 95 Chevrolet K2500. This particular video here, I'm just going to show a oil dipstick that I found that would be compatible with the headers that I'm using. This engine here is a later 350 block that has the passenger side oil dipstick. You can see the hole right here in the block for the dipstick. Some of the crate engines from Chevrolet have the provisions for oil dipstick on either side, and some of the engines I've had before, they come with plugs, and if you're going to use like the passenger side dipstick, you would just put a plug in the passenger side and vice versa. But here on this engine, it's a right side dipstick only, or passenger side dipstick only, and I was going to use my factory dipstick from my Chevrolet truck, and I was having some problems with it fitting with the headers and everything. First, I'll show you the dipstick that came on my truck. This is one that it goes in the block here and bolts behind, or bolts to this to the cylinder head up here on this quarter 20 bolt threaded hole there. And a couple problems I was having with it. First of all, it's going to cause some interference with my my Moroso wire loom there, and plus it was going to run into one of the tubes on the header, so I really couldn't use this one at all. And I did some research, and I found out that on the ZZ4 engine, crate engine, they came with a dipstick from Chevrolet that fit really nice and didn't interfere with the headers. There's also some other ones I found on Summit Racing and Course Jegs from Lockar and some of the other manufacturers. They want 80, 90, 100 bucks for the things. They also would clear headers quite easily. This one here was 40 bucks. That's the dipstick tube and the dipstick. Seems like an awful lot of money, but if you're going to check your oil, you need something to do it with. So this is the dipstick tube, and you have to buy the dipstick separate, but this is kind of what Chevrolet's been using for years now, the yellow handle on it with the O-ring, and it's pretty nice, and it's going to fit really beautifully, and I'm going to mock that up for you so you can see it. So the headers I'm using are hooker headers for the 95 K25 Chevy truck. They're pretty nice looking piece. Get a look at the flange there. They fit good. I've already had them on the engine a couple times. The tubes look good. All the welds look good on it. Nice thick flange. I did get the painted ones. But I'm going to go ahead and bolt these on, just using 2 bolts to demonstrate that dipstick. So right down here below the cylinder head, I should have showed you this before I put the headers on. Down below the cylinder head are two holes. One is a 5/16 18, and the other one's a 1/2 inch 20. This particular dipstick here is going to be using the half. Did I say 1/2 inch? I think I meant 1/4 inch 20 bolt. So I'm going to show how the dipstick goes in and how it clears the headers. So this is the dipstick tube. Simply slides down inside the hole in the block. Once you get it seated in the block, the little clamp there is welded to the dipstick tube. Take a 1/4 inch 20 bolt, thread that into the block, and that holds it on. And that's all there is to it. And I got about a 1/4 inch clearance there between the dipstick tube and one of the header tubes. Now you probably can bend this a little bit to get a little more clearance, but for the most part, in most applications, it's going to fit really good. It does have a slight angle towards the front, whereas my original one would have come out a little more to the front, make it a little easier to grab the dipstick and pull it out. But like I said, there was going to be all kind of interference problems with it, so I did some research and found this dipstick tube here and the dipstick that I showed you. It looks like it's going to work really nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the part number to the dipstick tube and the dipstick below on the description for this video. And if you ever need a dipstick that's going to allow you to have plenty of clearance with your headers, then this is probably going to be the one to go with. And it's a little more reasonably priced than some of the other ones that you see on Jegs and Summit. Now, in addition, you can pretty easily take off the header with the dipstick in place. So I plan to put the dipstick in, and then of course I'll put the headers in once the engine's in the truck. You can see, lift that right up over. Even with all the wire looms there, you can pull that header right back off. Here you get a better shot of where it's bolted on. And all I generally do on these is just take a little bit of RTV on the tube itself and push it in to seal it. Don't put the RTV in the hole because it'll push the RTV down inside the oil pan. I like to put it just on the outside of the tube, just below that rib there. When you push it in, just take your finger and kind of caulk around a little bit, and you won't get any leaks. So I just want to share what I did here. The dipstick tube and dipstick that I found that was going to be compatible with my headers. And like I said, I'll leave that part number for those if you ever need to use it. They came on a ZZ4 crate engine several years back and still available through Summit. Okay, thanks for watching.